to Field in Minot as we have day two of the Minot tournament. Post State coming in at 1-1. They take on the Mandan Chiefs and the Minot Vistas in their two games today at 10 and 2:30. As we will have both these games for you right here on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean as we welcome you into the broadcast. And Greg, it's good to join me here again for this day two of the tournament. And for Post State coming in at 1-1, these are two important games if they want to make to the championship on Sunday. Two big wins would all but guarantee them a spot in the championship.
Absolutely, and for the most part, the Eights played pretty well yesterday. A nice 3-1 win over East Grand Forks, and then an 8-7 loss to Bismarck, which really is nothing to hang your head about. Bismarck is a very good baseball team, and again, you're trying to manage a pitching staff and still keep in mind that you've got four big South Dakota games coming up on Wednesday and Thursday next week. So you want to make sure that your arms are all lined up for that. And so while I know Coach White is wanting to be competitive up here and play the games hard, you also have to look down the line and get your staff ready and get the team ready for those four big games right before the 4th of July.
And that's the difficult part about this, and not so much difficult because Aaron Booth is going to start game one, and that's a pretty good pitcher to have game one going here for you on the Saturday. But you get into a situation where, like yesterday, Jake Mayer came in a South Dakota game. He probably doesn't go to the end of the bottom of the sixth inning, not because you don't trust him, but the stuff wasn't necessarily there for Mayer that we had seen earlier in the season. And because of that, but because of those South Dakota games coming up on Wednesday, these pitchers have a leash that says, if you're struggling, let's try and figure it out because we can't afford to burn too many pitchers, especially in day one of the tournament. And we also want to make sure guys are ready for Wednesday and Thursday of this coming week.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's a fine line to walk if you're Coach White and Coach Nas. The upside for Pierre is they do have a lot of arms roll out there, but again, you just came off of a 4-game week where they played doubleheaders on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then you've got 4 games, possibly 5 games up here in Minot if they are fortunate enough to make it to the championship tomorrow. And then you've got 4 games again next week. So with the pitch count rules being what they are, like I said, it's there's a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces. You gotta think about what's coming on down the line. So again, I think all in all a good performance from Post State yesterday. And again, looking forward to what they can do today, especially against game number 1 here against Mandan, a team they've already seen twice this week.
Yep, they played them on Wednesday, got a win 10-4, and then a 7-3 walk-off grand slam win to finish out the doubleheader sweep on Wednesday, as they will try and make it 3 in a row against the Mandan Chiefs. And Aaron Booth will be the starter to try and make that happen as he will throw in game 1. Justin Houlette already, Coach Nas told me, will be the starter in game number 2 when they take on the Minot Vistas. Minot is the only team that is 0-2. Bismarck the only team that's 2-0 in this tournament. So East Grand Forks and Mandan are both 1-1. Post State could pretty much eliminate Mandan with a win here in game number 1, and then would have to take care of business against Minot. And again, would all but guarantee them that spot. East Grand Forks and Bismarck could also go 3-1 if East Grand Forks beats Bismarck, and then how they finish out the tournament, they could go both 3-1. We'd have 3 teams at 3-1. Then we get into a tiebreaker situation. But if Bismarck goes 4-0, East Grand Forks goes 3-1, and Post State would go 3-1 here today, then we would be in the championship tomorrow because of the head-to-head against East Grand Forks, which they won 3-1 yesterday. So a lot of moving pieces, and maybe a little bit more will be clear once we get back to game number 2. But we have game 1, and Post State's got to take care of business against Mandan here first if they want to try and have an opportunity to play in the championship on Sunday. We'll step aside for 3 minutes, come back with more of the pregame show. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Corbett Field in Minot, North Dakota, as Pierre takes on the Mandan Chiefs in game number 1. We are just about set here for this first game, a couple of minutes away before we get started. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean, as Aaron Booth will get to be the starter in game number 1, as his numbers, Greg, aren't so too shabby here early on this season.
After his first outing down in Mitchell to start the year in the first doubleheader, where I think everybody was just a little rusty. He's had a couple of really good outings on June 16th through 5 innings and a start against Rapid City Post 320. Gave up 2 earned runs, 4 walks, a strikeout on 5 hits. And then came back on Sunday, a week ago, or last Sunday, up in Aberdeen, again, in a start through 5 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. To date, he's got a 4.42 ERA and a 1.737 WHIP. So Booth is certainly one of the frontline pitchers for Post State, and somebody who's gonna deliver a good outing time in and time out. I mean, he really has developed into a very special pitcher, and I think he's got some good things ahead of him.
As Booth will go, he's got a little bit of a wind. There's some wind going through right now, as you probably can hear a little bit on the microphones, that the wind's going to be more of a factor than what it was yesterday. It looks like right now it's more blowing in, but almost looks like it's been swirling somewhat as we've watched that American flag out in center field. But that might be a difference in a ball game here, too. Obviously, being in South Dakota, we're well aware that the wind can cause a lot of issues at any time. But for Post State, they will have to deal with the wind and hopefully use that to their advantage here early on. And for Booth, a couple fly balls, some hard hit balls that are flown out to the outfield might not have the distance as maybe they did yesterday.
Yeah, and as you watch the American flag out in center field, it's the field here in Minot faces to the southwest, which is a direction you typically don't see out of most baseball fields, and so with the south wind, which is where it's coming from today, southeast wind, the wind is actually blowing in maybe kind of a bit across the field from third to first, and so if you're a pitcher, anything you can do to help keep some balls up in the air a little longer, keep them in the field, that's definitely a plus.
As we go through the starting lineups, we'll start with the Mandan Chiefs. Blake Ahrens is the leadoff hitter as he's playing center field. Easton Andreessen will be the left fielder batting second. He hit the 2-run homer on Wednesday, and the only hit that Colin Bergman allowed. Isaac Cuddle's the pitcher as he will bat third. Cole Schmidt, the second baseman, batting fourth. Lucas Burgum is the shortstop batting fifth. Avery Bogner is the third baseman batting sixth. Ben Connects is the catcher batting seventh. Tate Jablonski is the right fielder. He'll bat eighth, and Jacob Wyan is the first baseman as he rounds out the order as he plays first base here for the Mandan Chiefs. For Post State, Andrew Coverdale will lead things off playing second base. Garrett Stout will bat second and play short. Haven't seen that 1-2 combination in several games since last Tuesday. We haven't seen that 1-2 combination, which doesn't seem like it's very long, but it's also been 4 games that we've not seen Coverdale followed by Stout. Then it will be Andy Gordon that will bat third and playing third base. A.J. Gayton's the right fielder in the cleanup spot. Cade Hinkle catch and bat fifth. River Iverson's the left fielder batting sixth. Matt Lusk will bat seventh and play center field. Bennett Dean will bat eighth and be the first baseman. And Colin Bergman's the DH in game number 1 here today as he will bat ninth for Pierre Post State. For the eights, we'll run down as they each come to the plate. You look at these guys and how they've started out this tournament. A lot of solid batting averages, or a lot of solid first several at bats here for Post State through the first 2 games of this tournament. Yeah,
and again, the eights have done a nice job over the last couple of weeks of really stringing together hits, really being able to produce runs even when they're not really hitting the best, and that's the way it's going to be with baseball. Is there's going to be days when everything you hit is going to fall in, and there's going to be some days when you hit a bunch of balls on the nose, and they just were right at somebody. And so the Eights have done a really good job. I mean, we talked about the 8-game winning streak which unfortunately got snapped last night against Bismarck, but they've won 14 of their last 16, and so they've done a very good job of scoring runs in bunches, putting their hits together. Doing a much better job than they did early on in terms of situational hitting and 2-out hitting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do against Mandan today.
Post States and Mandan coming up here in a minute. We'll have first pitch for you. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Minot at Corbett Field as we are getting set for game one of day number 2, which is the 6th game of the tournament. Post State coming in at 1-1. They will take on the Mandan Chiefs. They will hit first for the 3rd straight game here in the tournament, and they will hit first in all 4 games of the day 1 and day 2 because Minot is a home team no matter what through all 4 games or all the 4 games that they play. So Post State will be the visitors for the 3rd time and will be that way in game number 2. As it is on the hill, Isaac Cuddle will throw for the Mandan Chiefs here in game 1 as we will have the defense positioning. Mandan wearing their white jerseys. Got some, what would you call that green? So it's not the pure green, more of a
it's kind of a
lime green.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a lime green. It's a bright green. Let's put it that way.
Some bright green numbers and with some yellow trim to it. First pitch is taken for ball 1 right at 10 o'clock at KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. We'll start this game right on time as we're a little behind schedule yesterday, but got those 2 games in. 1-0 pitch to Coverdale. He'll shoot that out towards center field. Going back on his errands, he will retreat and make the catch, and leadoff man is retired here to open up the ball game. Again for Post States, as Andrew Coverdale is the leadoff man. Garrett Stout was stepping to the plate. Andy Gordon will bat 3rd. A.J. Gaden will be in the cleanup spot. Cade Hinkle, number 5 hitter. River Iverson will bat 6th. Matt Luss 7th. Bennett Dean 8th. And Colin Bergman, the DH, will round out the order. As Garrett Stout steps to the plate, he went 2 for 3 on Wednesday in game number 2. And, oh, by the way, those two hits were a solo shot and a walk-off grand slam against Mandan as he takes strike 1 from Isaac Huddle.
Stout coming in hitting .467 on the year, leads the team in hits and home runs.
The 0-1 is missed down low. Now 1-1 to the number 2 hitter, Garrett Stout. He is 1 for 4 so far here in the tournament. Did not hit in game number 2. He was the starting pitcher, had a no decision in game 2 yesterday. The 1-1 is over for strike 2 and is now 1-2. Here's the number 2 hitter playing shortstop in game number 1 of the day. First time that him and Coverdale have been short and second since last Tuesday or this past Tuesday. The 1-2 pitch. That one will bounce in and a good take there from Stout. And it's now 2-2 to the number 2 hitter.
And again, Garrett does just exactly what you'd expect to do for a young man that's been at this varsity level now for the 5th year. Just very good control of the strike zone. Has twice as many walks as he does strikeouts.
2-2 is grounded to the right side as Stout rolled over to it, and the first baseman Wine will take to the bag himself. The first 2 men are retired here to open up the ball game, and here's Andy Gordon. Gordon hasn't played the field in quite a while. He had all of Wednesday off. He did not hit against Mandan, so this is the first time he is facing the Chiefs, as he's been dealing with a little bit of sore shoulder. And we'll look to the first pitch. He'll swing the first pitch and foul it away. First time he's in the field, he'll be at third base. So one that we thought maybe he'd play first if he was going to play the field this weekend, but maybe the shoulder's feeling pretty good, and so he's going to play third here in game one.
Gordon comes into the game hitting .327, 17 hits and 52 at-bats.
There's the 0-1 that's lined out to right field and down for a base hit, and there's a 2-out single for Andy Gordon. That's his first hit of the tournament, and that'll extend the inning to A.J. Gayden, who is 3 for 7 so far here in this Minot tournament. A good start for him as he is in the cleanup spot for the second straight game. I believe the second straight game. I want to make sure that's... He actually was hitting 6 last game, so in the cleanup spot for the second time in this tournament. First pitch is inside to A.J. Gayden. He went 1 for 6 on Wednesday in the 2 games. Oh. The first pitch is outside for ball 1, or it's taken for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one misses. Now 1-1 here to the cleanup hitter.
Gayden comes into the game at .343, 12 hits and 35 at-bats. And AJ's has certainly earned himself more reps and more time in the field and over the last couple of weeks. He really developing into a nice stick for the eights.
The 1-1 is fouled out of play, and it's now 1-2. The guy that missed all of last season due to his injury, his arm injury, and making the most of the opportunity, even with the full year off. It's hard to come back from a full year off, but Gayden has inserted himself in the lineup and has been hitting the ball really well. 1-2, good take. Gordon was off of the pitch. The pitch was in the turf, and he'll steal second standing up, and a base hit could drive in the first run of the ball game here for the Eights.
Yeah, that was probably a hit and run that Coach White put on, and Gayden, with the 2-strike count, didn't have an opportunity to try to put a swing on the ball because the ball was out in the right-hand batter's box, and Gordon goes in standing up to second base.
2-2 is also bounced in, and a good take again from Gayden, and it's now 3-2 with Andy Gordon out at second. On deck is Cade Hinkle. Here we play in the top of the first inning. Runner on second with 2 down. Post State and Mandan open up the day 2 of the Minot tournament. 3-2 is out towards left center field. That one's going to get down, and that's going to play to Andy Gordon. Gayden will round first. He's going to have himself an RBI double as he trades places with Andy Gordon. And it's 1-0 here for Post State.
And again, just like we talked about, Gayden continues to swing a hot stick and just continues to earn himself additional at-bats and more playing time. And that was just a nice piece of hitting. Really worked the count up to a 3-2 count, and then just sat on a fastball at 3-2, 2 outs, and lined it into left field, rolled all the way to the 356 sign out in left center.
First pitch to Cade Hinkle's a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Hinkle, he's played in both games. He's 4 for 7. He's got the most hits so far for Post State in this tournament. He went to 1 for 6 on Wednesday against the Chiefs as he's down the count 0-1 to Isaac Huddle. Huddle will come set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Hinkle will lift it into shallow center field, and by shallow I mean a couple steps out of the infield for the shortstop Burgum to make the catch, and that will retire the side here in the top of the first inning. But Post State scores 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We've played a half inning. Pierre has a 1-0 lead as Mandan's coming to the plate. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the first inning as we welcome you back here to Corbett Field in Minot, as Aaron Booth is on the mound here for Poe State, as he will deal with the Mandan Chiefs lineup as it follows. Blake Ahrens will lead off playing center field. Easton Andreessen batting second, playing left field. Isaac Huddle, the pitcher, is in the number 3 spot. Cole Schmidt will clean up in the playing second base. Lucas Burgum is playing shortstop, batting 5th. Avery Bogner, the third baseman, batting 6th. Van Kleinknecht is the catcher, batting 7th. Tate Jablonski is batting 8th, playing right field, and Jacob Wine is the first baseman as he bats 9th. 8 of these 9 guys all hits against Poe State on Wednesday, whether it was 1 or 2 games that they got a chance to hit against Poe State, except for Jacob Wine. He threw in game 1, but he did not hit at all, but he's in the lineup here against Poe State here on this Saturday morning. Aaron Booth, as Greg read some of the stats for Booth, we'll go through those stats here in just a little bit. He will meet Blake Ahrens to lead things off as the first pitch comes in to Ahrens. Low for ball 1.
Yeah, and again, Booth comes into the game with a 4.42 ERA, 10 strikeouts in 12 2/3 innings. Only 8 earned runs allowed, 7 walks, 15 hits. So again, if you take away that first outing against Mitchell, Aaron's done a very nice job in terms of controlling the strike zone over the last couple of outings.
The 2-0 pitch, that one is at the letters, now 2-1. Blake Ahrens went 1 for 6 on Wednesday in those 2 games against Poe State. The 2-1 from Booth. Flown out towards center field. Matt Lusk will range to his left and he'll make the catch as the leadoff man is retired, just like it was in the top of the first to the center fielder. As we go through the defensive positioning for Poe State, River Iverson's out left. Matt Lusk, who just made the catch in center. A.J. Gayden is out in right field. Andy Gordon at third, Garrett Stout at short, Andrew Coverdale at second, Bennett Dean at first, and Cade Hinkle catches the first pitch that bounced in 5 feet in front of the plate from Aaron Booth for ball 1 to Easton Andreessen. Andreessen went 1 for 4, but his one hit was a 2-run homer, which gave Mandan the lead on Wednesday. Gave him a 2-1 lead, the only hit that Colin Bergman allowed in his start when going 5 innings, and then ended up getting the win 7-3 as Will Van Camp picked up the win on the mound. The 0-1, or the 1-1 is upstairs, now 2-1.
Yeah, and for Aaron Booth to be effective, he's got to be able to get that second and third pitch over. He's got a very good fastball. He's going to sit somewhere in the low to mid 80s with his fastball. But in order for him to be effective, really what his out pitch is that curveball. He has a very good curveball, and if he can spot that, he is really tough to hit off of.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. That one's fouled back to the screen, and it's now 3-2. The number 2 hitter in Easton Andreessen. Poe State had some strong pitching on Wednesday, allowing just 7 runs between the 2 games. The 3-2, that won't bounce, and it's a 1-out walk allowed to Andreessen. That'll bring in the pitcher, Isaac Huddle. Had some strong performances from Bergman, from Will Van Camp. As I start to blank on here, the other couple of names that threw. Guys like Matt Lusk, who threw 5 innings, and then had A.J. Gayden come in the final 2 innings. First pitch is outside for ball 1. So those 4 pitchers threw the ball really well, and so far, really, the three pitchers that we've seen here in Minot have done a good job. Although Poe State is 1-1, some good pitching performances so far for Pierre. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Huddle outside corner. And it's now 1-1. Hinkle may have got the benefit of the doubt of the framing job on that one.
Yeah, it looks like the umpire's got a little bit of a wide zone. If he's willing to continue to call that outside corner, that'll be a good spot for Aaron Booth to bring that curveball in off on the kind of off out of the back door, and if he can consistently spot that, again, he's going to be real tough today.
Count is 1-1 to Huddle. He went 1 for 5 on Wednesday in that doubleheader as he waits on the 1-1 from Aaron Booth. Right back up the middle, and that one's through for a base hit. And it's now first and second for Cole Schmidt, the cleanup hitter. And there are 2 aboard with 1 down here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and sometimes just just getting through the first inning can be the toughest part of a pitcher's job. I mean, just sometimes you think you're warm and coming out of the bullpen, and then you get to the mound, and sometimes it takes you about 15, 20 pitches to really get a feel for not only the strike zone but the mound. We've talked about the fact that this is a full turf field with a turf mound. Something that the eights haven't played on a lot. So it might just take an inning for Aaron to get adjusted.
First pitch was over for strike one. The 0-1. There's a ground ball to the third baseman. Gordon goes off of his glove. It's going to go to left field. That's going to tie the ball game up. Iverson will have to track it down. And it's now second and third as the throw goes away and down towards home plate. But the game is tied at 1-1 as Gordon did not field that ball cleanly. He'll be charged an error to Gordon. And what could have been a 5-3 double play turns into now second and third with one out. And it's a tie game at 1.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate break for the eights on that play because, like you said, I mean, if Andy Gordon's able to glove that ball, he's got to take one step on third, and then fire across to complete the double play over at first.
First pitch to Burgum is low for ball one. Burgum went 2 for 7 on Wednesday. And part of that doubleheader sweep from Post State over Mandan. The 1-0 pitch. Flown out to center field. Matt Lusk will come in on it. He will make the catch. The runner is tagging. He will not try and score. And the throw goes right to the first baseman, Bennett Dean. So there's now 2 down. That's a good second out and a good job by Matt Lusk to show off the arm and keep the runner at third and Huddle from scoring.
Yeah, just fly into shallow center, and in order to challenge Matt Lusk's arm, Matt has a real strong arm out in center field, and so you would have had to have some pretty good speed in order to score on that play.
First pitch is outside for ball one to Avery Bogner, the third baseman. It went just 1 for 2 on Wednesday. The 1-0 pitch, that one will bounce, and a good block there from Hinkle. Now 2-0. Matt Lusk has recorded the first 2 outs on 2 flyouts. So he's got a chance to make history, a chance to tie a record and never be broken.
27 putouts in a game?
Well, the 2-0 pitch, that one might be a record.
Or most putouts in an inning?
Yeah, most putouts in an inning, yeah. You get those 3 putouts in an inning. That's a record that will never be broken. Many have tied it. I'm in that history book in high school baseball. I am.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I missed your name.
The 2-1 pitch, just a bit outside now, 3-1. There is a base open. Ben Kleinknecht is on deck, second and third with 2 down. I'm surprised you missed my name. I thought maybe once we met each other, you were like, I know you. Yeah, I read that in the history book. 3-1 pitch. That one is fouled back, and it's now 3-2. Then again, hear the name John Winkler, and a couple of years from now, I go, John, I don't know any John Winkler.
Don't sell yourself short.
A forgettable name.
Don't sell yourself short.
Here's the 3-2 pitch from Aaron Booth inside. It might have got a piece of Bogner. Either way, he is on first. So it was either going to be ball 4 or hit batters, and now it's Ben Kleinknecht with the bases loaded and 2 down. The catcher who went 0 for 3 has a chance to give Mandan their first lead of the ball game, as Booth has have to face his 7th hitter of the inning, trying to get out of this with limited damage with the bases loaded and 2 down.
Yeah, and Booth's pitch count already is at 23, and that's certainly more than what you'd like to see in the first inning, especially if you're looking for him to go deep into the game and hopefully take some pressure off of this Pierre pitching staff.
First pitch is outside for ball 1 to Kleinknecht. Booth is going to work from the windup. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one is at the letters, now 1-1. From up here in the press area, it looks like the high strike is there. The low strike maybe not there as much from this home plate umpire. But again, it's just all about consistency. And the 1-1 pitch, that one's out to center field. Matt Lusk is coming in on it. Coverdale's going out. He'll make the catch. And that will avoid a big inning from Mandan. 1 run scores on just 1 hit in the inning, 1 error, but 3 men left on base. We have played 1 full inning, and we are tied up at 1. Back in a minute, you're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Top of the second inning. It will be 6, 7, and 8. River Iverson, Matt Lusk, and Bennett Dean, as Justin Hulett will make his way down to the bullpen with Will Van Camp. And Will Van Camp with the catcher's mask on, so it looks like Hulett will get loose. And he was, as Coach Nas said, that he was going to be the starter in game 2. That may not be the case now. If Booth isn't able to get out of this, start to limit the pitch count, they might have to go with Hulett here in this first game, and then have somebody else start game number 2 for them at 2:30 this afternoon. So that's one that you wish you didn't really see that happening right now, because Booth's pitch count is a lot closer to 30 than after the first inning than what you would like it to be. As River Iverson digs in against Isaac Huddle, the first pitch to Iverson is upstairs, and the man that's leading the team and hit by pitches almost got hit by another one.
And Aaron Booth kind of making a motion pointing to his elbow, so it kind of makes me wonder if maybe he is feeling a little bit of discomfort in his arm. The
1-0 pitch is out towards the shortstop, and Iverson's going to get thrown out at second, trying to stretch that air from the shortstop, and he was thrown out. So he reaches base on an error, but thrown out trying to get to second, and both teams now with an error, but not going to hurt them too much, as the throw from the first baseman was on the money to get Iverson trying to get to second. That's a tough break there for Post State. Actually, give Iverson a base hit, which would be their third hit of the ball game. First pitch to Matt Lusk is taken for strike 1. Just the throw was high, where Iverson looked like he was going to beat it there, and there's another chance for the shortstop in Burgum. That throw is much lower to the ground, and the throw is made, and there's now 2 down here in the top of the second inning. Just 4 pitches so far here for Wine in the top of the second.
Yeah, and I see Coach Nas coming out of the first base coaching box, and he made a motion as he ran down towards the bullpen down the right field line to Justin Hulett, and just kind of a hurry up motion, because this inning may be over quicker than what you're expecting. And so I think he's trying to get Hulett warmed up as quick as possible. So I fully expect we're going to see Justin Hulett here in the second inning.
Bennett Dean takes ball 1. Dean has not hit yet this tournament. He'll swing that one and ground it to the first baseman, and Wine, he'll make the play and step on the bag. And it's a quick 1-2-3 inning. Just a 6-pitch inning for Isaac Huddle in the top of the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We've played an inning and a half, and it's a 1-1 tie between Post State and Mandan. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Back here as we head to the bottom of the second inning, and it is Justin Hulett that will take over for Aaron Booth, as Booth is dealing with maybe some elbow issues, as he is done after just 1 inning. Gave up that 1 run on 1 hit. He did, let's see here, he had 2 walks and did not strike anybody out in that inning of work. So what was supposed to be game 2 starter Justin Hulett now almost turns into game 1 starter, as he just has 1 less inning to deal with, as it is a 1-1 tie. Justin Hulett in, and he will deal with 8, 9, and 1. Tate Jablonski, Jacob Wine, and Blake Ahrens to lead off the second inning here at Minot Corbett Field. Day 2 of the Minot tournament. First pitch from Hulett is upstairs for ball 1. So here as we've started game number 2 and into the bottom of the second, game number 1 of the day, and in the bottom of the second, as it's now 2-0. Justin Hulett has got to really dig down deep and have keep his pitch count low, because that's going to be imperative to keep as a few pitchers to be used here in this first game, as the 2-0 is over for strike 1.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big deal because you're really now looking for Hulett to give you some extended innings, and so that's going to be a big deal for Post 8 for the rest of this game.
Count is 3-1 here to the number 8 hitter Tate Jablonski. The 3-1 pitch, that one misses high, and it's now a leadoff walk, and it's tough for Justin Hulett because he got down there and started warming up and only had 6 pitches of the inning before to get loose. And one there where he was probably mentally trying to get ready for game number 2 and not game 1. Everything completely changes on you. And here's Jacob Wine to step to the plate. It's a complete different situation when you come in the bottom of the second, as the first pitch is over for strike 1 to Jacob Wine. I mean, overall, everything about what's happening for Justin Hulett is tough to deal with as a pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely. And Justin can be a very effective pitcher. He's not going to overpower you, but if he's effective, what he's going to be able to do is he's going to be able to spot his pitches, be down in the zone, because you'll know if he's effective if he's getting a lot of ground balls. And if he keeps throwing those pitches down in the zone, that's where you'll see him be effective.
0-2, swing and a miss, and Wine goes down on strikes. And there's a first out here in the bottom of the second inning that will wrap things back to the top of the order. And Blake Aaron says he flew out to Matt Lusk in his first at-bats to lead off the bottom of the first inning.
Hulett coming into the game, 4 1/3 innings pitched so far this year, 6.46 ERA and a 2.538 WHIP.
There's a line shot, one hopper to Stout. He'll throw to second for one, back to first in time. And there's a 6-4-3 double play, and that will help Hulett get out of the first inning of work for him very quickly. And a good play there from Stout on the short hop, and to get it over to Coverdale in time to start that 6-4-3 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We played 2 innings, so it's a tie ball game at 1 between Pierre and Mandan. Back in a minute. You listen to Post 8 Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Top of the third inning, 9-1-2. Colin Bergman, Andrew Coverdale, and Garrett Stout to lead things off in a 1-1 game. As we start here at the top of the third inning, Post 8, you got the first run of the game in the top of the first inning on an RBI double from A.J. Gaden. Colin Bergman, he's 0 for 3 so far in this tournament. First pitch swinging, skies it out towards left field, and you'll get out of play. And it's 0-1 here to the number 9 hitter, leadoff man in the bottom or the top of the third. One run, 3 hits, and 1 error so far for Post 8. 1 hit and 1 run for Mandan through 2 innings. The 0-1, that one is fouled off the handle of Bergman. Didn't get the bat off of his shoulder. And it's now 0-2. The home plate umpire is clean off home plate. You don't see that very often. I think maybe he got the catcher a little bit, so he's cleaning off the turf home plate. It doesn't have a whole lot of it will never really be not clean. But given a chance for that catcher to catch his breath, that might have caught him in a not so comfortable spot.
Yeah, because the ball went straight down after, and I think you're right. I think it probably got the knob of the bat and probably just deflected straight downward, and the catcher's moving a little gingerly right now. So kudos to the ump for just letting him get a few breaths, and looks like we're back ready to play ball.
So Isaac Huddle will get the sign from Klein Connect. Here's the 0-2 pitch outside, now 1-2. I was wondering why the umpire did that. There's a turf field. If there's anything on the plate, it's not going to really show up. There's really no need to clean off home plate, but then it made sense to try and give Klein Connect a little bit of a breather. The 1-2 pitch, check swing, and they say he went around, and so he strikes out, does Bergman, to open up the top of the third inning. And that will bring in Andrew Coverdale, who flew out to the center fielder. Coverdale now 2 for 6 so far here in the tournament, as he digs in to face Isaac Huddle for the second time. Here's the first pitch to Coverdale. That one will bounce in, and it's 1-0 to the second baseman.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see the eights break loose with a big inning here and give Justin Hulett a little run support.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's out towards center field. A couple of steps back by the center fielder, and Aarons will make the catch, and Coverdale has been retired by the center fielder twice. And there's 2 quickly down here in the top of the third, and that'll bring in Garrett Stouts. He is 0 for 1 as he grounded out to the first baseman in his first at bat. He's 1 for 5 so far now here in the tournament. Aaron Booth got his elbow wrapped up with ice as the first pitch to Garrett Stouts is on the outside edge for strike 1.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate loss for the eights, certainly for the weekend. But you hope it's just a short-term issue for Aaron Booth, because if he's out for an extended period of time, that puts a real ding in your pitching staff. The eights have already lost McGuire Rasky for the year, and now hopefully, like I said, don't have to. You're hoping that Aaron Booth is not out for an extended period, but if he is, you just really dig into that depth of the pitching staff.
Ground ball to first baseman again, the flip to first, and that will retire the side. So Garrett Stout has also grounded out to the first baseman twice. 1-2-3 inning for Isaac Huddle. 2.5 played. Post State and Mandan are tied at 1. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. The bottom of the third inning as Justin Hulett working into his second inning as he took over for Aaron Booth after just 1 inning. Game is tied at 1 as Post State got a 1-2-3 inning from Justin Hulett, although it was an unconventional 1-2-3 inning. A double play helped out just 3 batters come to the plate. Easton Andreessen will lead off here in the bottom of the third. He takes low for ball 1. He drew a walk and came around to score, as Cole Schmidt put the ball in play and ended up reaching base on an error. And that's where we have the game tied at 1 as we play here in the bottom of the third. The 2-0 pitch from Hulett to Andreessen is over for strike 1. And Andreessen went deep in the second game of the doubleheader on Wednesday. The only hit that starter Colin Bergman allowed. The 2-1 pitch is a grounded foul, and it's now 2-2. And Greg, as you mentioned, Aaron Booth went that first inning and got his elbow wrapped up with ice, and you hope that it's just a general soreness that will just kept him out of this game and didn't allow him to go deeper into this game, and that's all we have to worry about for Aaron Booth because of, like you said, McGuire Rasky already out for the rest of the year. 3-2 pitch That's out towards right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. That high hop off the turf. Gaden was able to jump to knock it down, and it keeps Andreessen at first, but he is on with a leadoff single. But you don't want to lose too many. You don't want to lose anybody ever in a season, but you don't want to lose too many pitchers because it's already hard enough to have good quality pitchers, and you start knocking those numbers off with injuries. That really hurts a team going forward. First pitch, runner is off for a second. The throw to second is not going to be in time as Andreessen will take the bag as the first pitch was high for ball one to Isaac Huddle.
Yeah, and I think if you were to look at a depth chart coming into the season, you probably would certainly put McGuire, Rasky, and Aaron Booth certainly somewhere in that top five on paper. And so now if you've lost certainly Rasky for sure, and again we're certainly hoping and praying that Booth is not out for an extended period of time, but again, it forces Coach White to go a little deeper into his bullpen here to not only get through this weekend, but also to manage his staff for the upcoming games.
Count is 3-0 here to the pitcher Huddle. He reached base, so he singled back up the middle in his first at bat. On second is Andreessen. He'll lead away. Hulett comes set. Here's a 3-0 pitch, and on the 3-0 pitch, Huddle will lace it into right field for a base hit, and that will plate the second run of the game as the throw will be cut off by Dean. And in scoring as Huddle helps himself out and gives himself a 2-1 lead on the RBI single. And there's nobody out here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, and just a well-struck ground ball, a hard ground ball through the right side to the left hand for the left-handed hitting Huddle, and Mandan jumps up 2-1 here in the bottom of the third.
Justin Hulett giving up back-to-back base hits. First pitch to the number 4 hitter, and Cole Schmidt is over for strike one. He reached base on an error. It was down the third baseline. Gordon went off of his glove, which plated the tying run. But Mandan now leads 2-1. Here with the bottom of the third with nobody out. Pickoff attempt and diving back in safely is Huddle. Burgum is on deck. Bogner will be after that.
And we one thing we haven't talked about is it'd be interesting to see if the Eights are able to get into the Mandan bullpen today, because Mandan had to use at least four pitchers yesterday in their game against Minot. That was a 16-15 slugfest that ended up taking about I think 3+ hours almost.
It was a long game in which saw a lot of runs in the last 2 innings. As the 1-1 is upstairs now 2-1. Yeah, Mandan had both them and Minot used a lot of pitchers in that game. Mandan lost to East Grand Forks 6-5 in game 1, and then beat Minot 16-15. So they're at 1-1, just like Pierre is. There's a ground ball left side. It goes off the glove of Gordon as he tried to dive for it and did not catch it cleanly. And there's now first and second, as that will be scored a base hit, 3 straight singles for. They're going to give Gordon an error.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough error for Andy Gordon. He had to go to his left and actually went down to a knee to try to come up with the ball and just squirted off his glove, and so now Hulett is in a little bit of a jam here with runners on first and second and nobody out. As
the first pitch to Lucas Burgum, he was showing butt, pulls it back and takes high for ball 1. And again, as we play here in this bottom of the third inning, still another game left to play against Minot. We'll see how long the leash is for Justin Hulett, even if he can't get things figured out, or I guess not necessarily get things figured out, but if he can't get the outs, he might have to just continue to pitch, and because they don't want to burn too many pitchers here in game 1. Of course, Minot after that, and you're also wanting to get yourself set for Wednesday when you take on Watertown. 1-1 pitch. That one's grounded back to Gordon. That one goes over his glove and into left field. River Iverson, he'll going to come up with a throw. Cut off. Gordon's going to try and track him down. He flipped it to Garrett Stout too late. And getting the second, everybody's going to be safe. It's going to be second and third with nobody out. It's now 3-1. And a couple of tough plays over at third for Andy Gordon here in the bottom of the third inning. It's a base hit, which plates the third run.
Yeah, that was a tough play. The throw from River Iverson out in left field actually came in. Andy Gordon cut it off. on what would be the infield grass, and as the runner was coming over to third, Gordon tried to run and tag him down, and I thought he was going to get there, and then at the last moment saw he was not going to be able to tag him, so he flipped the ball to Stout, and Stout was not able to handle it cleanly, and ball squirted away. And so again, Mandan has a threat going here now with 2 runners in scoring position and nobody out.
Count is 0-2 to Bogner. He drew a walk in his first plate appearance. First 4 guys have reached base. The 0-2 pitch, that one's out towards right field and through the hole for a base hit. 1 run will score. They're going to hold that runner at third, and it's now 4-1. And the first 5 guys have now reached base here for Mandan, and they continue to hit the ball well. Hitting's contagious, especially for this Mandan team, as they scored 16 runs in their last game yesterday and have scored 4 runs in the first 3 innings, and there's still nobody out here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, and then, again, one of the things for the weekend that again, sort of hamstrings the pitching staff a little bit. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but Kobe Carr, who's been a pretty reliable pitcher for this post-8 team so far, is actually on a church mission trip this week, and so he's not here, and he would certainly be an arm that would be available if he had not been on that mission trip. And again, just to add a little more depth to the staff.
So it's first and third here with nobody out. Here's Ben Kleinknecht. He flew out to end the bottom of the first inning to Andrew Coverdale in the shallow center field. The first pitch is a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. 5 men have come to the plate. All 5 have gotten 4 singles and an error to all reach base. They'll stay with 3 errors in the game so far, and they're trailing by 3 here in the bottom of the third. The 0-1 pitch. That one's grounded to the left side. Stout on the backhand, throws to second for 1. Back to first is not going to be in time. So it'll be an RBI fielder's choice. They get the first out, but it's now a 5-1 lead for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and just a ball that was hit to just kind of a medium speed ball, ground ball out to Stout at shortstop, and nice turn by Coverdale at second, but just unable to complete the double play as the runner was able to get there by about a step.
I think Anthony Johnson will be the courtesy runner for Kleinknecht, as Tate Jablonski will step to the plate. First pitch, swing and a miss. He drew a walk and was retired on the double play.
Anthony Johnson.
As he was retired on the double play to end the bottom of the second inning. Hulett only faced 3 batters in that bottom of the second, but now he's facing his 7th hitter. As the runner is off for second, he will get to second. The ball came up. That hop right in front of the bag took Coverdale by surprise, but a stolen base for Johnson, who was running for Kleinknecht. Count is 0-2, and the double play is no longer in order. Here's the 0-2 from Hulett to Jablonski. Swing and a miss, and Jablonski goes down on strikes. Second strikeout of the game for Hulett, and that's a big second out, as Jacob Wine now will come back to the plate. He struck out. He was the first strikeout victim for Justin Hulett. 2 down here in the bottom of the third, 5-1, as Mandan leads Pierre. The first pitch to Wine. That one's popped foul and out of play. And it's 0-1 to the first baseman. That was just his first at-bat against Pierre in these 3 games. Back in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Hulett. Just above the letters, and it's now 1-1.
Yeah, and Wine looked, even though he's sitting in the number 9 spot in the order, shows a good glove over at first base. Made a couple of good defensive plays already in this game.
1-1 pitch. Runner is off for third. Swing and a foul off the leg of Wine, and it's now 1-2. And the runner will retreat back to second. And Hulett's a strike away from getting out of this inning. Although 4 runs have scored here in the bottom of the third. And it's put Mandan in a good spot, leading 5-1. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. We'll be back on the air around 2:15. Time pending, the game's pending, as they take on the Minot Vistas Pierre in the final game of the round robin for Post 8. The 2-2. Upstairs 3-2. And we'll see if they don't win this game. It doesn't necessarily mean they are out of the running for making the championship day, but they would have to beat Minot to have an opportunity to be playing for the championship. 3-2 pitch. Swinging a miss, and down on strikes for the second time goes wide, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the third. 8 men come to the plate, 4-run score on 4 hits in the inning, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. We have played 3 completes, and Mandan, they lead 5-1 over Pierre. Back in a minute, you're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Top of the 4th inning, 5-1 lead here for the Mandan Chiefs, as it will be for Post-State 3, 4, and 5. Andy Gordon, A.J. Gayden, and Cade Hinkle. If anybody gets on base, it'll be River Iverson. Gordon got a single. He stole second and was driven in by the 2 outs RBI double from A.J. Gayden to open up the scoring. It's been the lone run so far for Post-State. Here's the first pitch to Gordon, and it's outside for ball 1. Gordon playing third base here in game 1. It's been a while since he's been over at third base, or at least got a start over at third base. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, now 1-1. And it's been a struggle for Gordon on that left side. He's been charged with all 3 errors so far for Pierre.
Yeah, we'll see if Andy can come back and base hit right here would certainly boost his confidence.
To the left side, fielded by the shortstop. The throw to first is in time. The leadoff man is retired here to open up the top of the 4th inning. As all 4 innings, the leadoff man has basically been retired. I say that because River Iverson led off the second with an infield hit, but he tried to take seconds. The throw went to the was offline, got away from the first baseman. He was thrown out. As Gayden will reach on the first pitch, a diving attempt, did not make the catch at Burgum, and A.J. Gayden's going to have a 1-out single. As the shortstop Burgum dove for it, he dove in on it, did not make the catch, and then could not recover in time to make the throw to first. And there's one that he'll look back on and say, maybe I should just play the short hop and try to throw him out at first.
Yeah, Burgum showed a really good arm over at shortstop so far. We've seen him now, the 3rd time we've seen him in the last couple of days, and he feels that position over there very well.
First pitch is missed for ball 1 to Cade Hinkle, who is 0 for 1. He popped out to the shortstop to end the top of the 1st inning. 1-0 pitch. Hinkle, ground ball to the left side. Burgum on the backhand, sliding stop. Gets up, the throw to first is not going to be in time. What a play, though, by Burgum, just to have an opportunity to get Cade Hinkle out. He was almost slipping and falling as he was thrown across his body, and Hinkle is able to speed to get to first, and Jack Van Camp will come on to courtesy run for Hinkle.
Yeah, the more you see Burgum play over there, the more impressed you become with him. I mean, he even though he has not made these last 2 plays, just to put himself in a position to be able to make those plays and make a couple of close plays at first base really speaks to his athleticism.
Iverson will bunt the ball down the third base line. Perfect bunt, and he's going to be on first. He's now 2 for 2. There's another infield single for River Iverson. Boy, I'd love to see a bunting competition between him, and if there's a competition and you had to bet on Iverson or the field, I'd take Iverson.
Yeah, I think actually during the Korean baseball all-star game, I think they actually do have a bunting competition.
I'd love to see. We don't really want to send him over for that, but it'd be fun to have him to go over there and see how well he does against those professionals over there, because he bunts the ball better than anybody I've ever seen before. The first pitch to Matt Lusk is taken for strike one. He grounded out to the shortstop in his first at-bat. Post State has the bases loaded with one down here in the top of the fourth inning as they try and claw back just a little bit here. Down 5-1. The 0-1's a swing and a miss. Now 0-2. And with Bennett Dean on deck, these next two hitters are very important for Post State to try, as the tying run is at the plate right now. Both guys have hit home runs in Lusk and Dean. Lusk has got a grand slam so far this season. 0-2. That one's out. Is going to get out of play right at the bench, and it will hit the bench as it gets to the dugout. And it stays at 0-2.
Yeah, and again, if you were with us yesterday, we talked about how Corbett Field up here in Minot is really a nice facility. The grandstand is an old kind of concrete grandstand and kind of has a 1940s feel to it. The only field I've ever seen where the dugouts are actually in the grandstand. So they're actually situated behind home plate facing the field. And then what they've done is they have poured some concrete and kind of just to some wings out from kind of in the corners of the field is kind of an open air dugout where most of the players hang out.
Matt Lusk swings and misses at the 0-2 pitch, and he's down on strikes. He's now 0-2, and here's Bennett Dean with two down. You got to find a way to put one. Got to find a way to get on base to at least drive in one of these runs. First pitch to Dean is taken for strike one. Dean ground out to the first baseman, Wine, to end the top of the second inning. Bases are loaded. Gaden at third, Hinkle at second. Actually, Van Camp running for Hinkle at second, and Iverson is up first. Huddle will come set. Bennett Dean will call time. Wind is picked up, at least as you look at the American flag. It's not moving, but over here behind home plate in the grandstand, the wind is picked up. 0-1 is outside now, 1-1.
Yeah, you can see the leaves moving in the trees out in left field. I mean, it looks like they're moving pretty good, and we can certainly feel it up here, but that flag is just not hardly moving out in center field.
Now it picks up just a little bit. The 1-1 pitch coming from Huddle to Dean. Out towards left field. Coming in on it is the left fielder. He will make the catch, and Post State will strand the bases loaded here at the top of the fourth inning. No run score on 3 hits in the inning. No errors and 3 men left on base. We have played 3.5. Post State down 5-1 to Mandan. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the fourth inning, 5-1 lead here for the Mandan Chiefs as they will have the top of the order against Justin Hoops, who will be in his third inning of work. Blake Ahrens, Easton Andreessen, and Isaac Huddle.
Center fielder number 3, Blake Ahrens.
As Ahrens is 0-2, Andreessen is 1 for 1, and Huddle is 2 for 2. First pitch is over for strike one to the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the fourth. Leadoff hitter in the order, Blake Ahrens, the center fielder. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Upstairs, 1-1.
And again, we talk about Houlette, and that first pitch was just exactly what he needed to be. I mean, he's got to be down in the zone because if he's down in the zone, he's going to get a lot of ground balls.
There's a ground ball. Sliding stop by Stout. He'll get up. Long throw to first is just not in time. And it's a leadoff single for Blake Ahrens here to open up the bottom of the fourth inning.
Yeah, too bad. Stout made a nice play going to his right, and had to go down to a knee to glove that ball. And when he went down, the ball just popped out of his glove for just a fraction of a second, and because of that, Aarons was able to beat the throw by a step.
Pickoff attempt, and back in safely is Aarons. He's now 1 for 3. Here's Easton Andreessen, who's been on base both times. He singled it and came around to score in the third inning. He also scored the first run of the game back in the bottom of the first. First pitch to him is upstairs for ball 1. 5 runs on 6 hits for Mandan. 1 run, 6 hits, and 3 errors for Post 8 as they trail by 4 here in the bottom of the fourth. Ouellette will come set. Again, check over at first, and back in safely is Aarons. Isaac Huddle is on deck. These top 2 hitters, or number 2 and number 3, I should say, in the order, have hit the ball really well for the Mandan Chiefs. Runner is off of the pitch. The pitch is inside, and no chance of a throw. And a stolen base for Blake Aarons. And the count is 2-0 to Andreessen. So again, no double play opportunity for Post 8 now, barring a doubling him off at second. There's a 2-0. That's a grounded to the first baseman, Dean. He'll take it to the bag himself, but a good quality at bat for Andreessen as he will advance Aarons over to third. And with 1 down, they have a couple opportunities to bring him in as Isaac Huddle is 2 for 2. Can help his cause some more and give him more cushion with another base hit, which would make it 6-1.
Yeah, we talk about quality at bats, and that was one that won't show up in the box score because it moved the runner over with less than 2 out.
Huddle will get a double here, at least a double, as it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Lusk will pick it up, and Huddle, as it rolled all the way from left center field all the way to the wall, it's a 1-out triple, and Huddle is now 3 for 3 in the ball game with 2 runs driven in, and it's a 6-1 lead for Mandan.
Yeah, and that's a ball that really, the turf really helped. Playing on natural grass, that thing probably doesn't get all the way to the wall, but that ball was a line drive out into left center, just had a lot of top spin on it and landed in sort of the medium deep left center and just kept rolling and rolling and rolling and got all the way to the wall.
Cole Schmidt, first pitch is taken for strike 1. He's been on base twice. He's grounded to the third baseman, Gordon, both times and has reached on air on both of those at-bats as the 0-1 pitch is at the letters. Now 0-2 to the cleanup hitter Cole Schmidt playing second base here in this ball game for Mandan. They will play East Grand Forks. No, they're going to play Bismarck next as they'll finish out their round robin portion. 0-2 is fought off to the second baseman Coverdale. It's going to bring home the run as the underhand flips it to first. There's now 2 down, but the lead has grown to 7-1 here in the bottom of the fourth inning for the Mandan Chiefs.
Yeah, and again, just another stat that's not going to show up in the box score, but just a good piece of hitting. And he just Andreessen just fought off or Schmidt just fought off an inside pitch and kind of fisted it out towards second base and gets an RBI ground out of it.
First pitch to Lucas Burgum is missed for ball 1. Burgum is 1 for 2 in an RBI single in the bottom of the third inning, part of that 4-run third. Upstairs now 2-0 to Justin Ouellette, from Justin Ouellette to Lucas Burgum. The 2-0 pitch. There's a line shot past Gordon for a base hit. And Burgum is now 2 for 3. And this Mandan team continues to hit. Now 8 hits in the game. And they lead 7-1.
Yeah, I think you said it earlier. Hitting is contagious, and that's exactly what is happening today. I mean, the top 2 guys and top 3 guys in the order are all starting to pound the ball, and it's filtering its way down towards the bottom of the order for these Mandan Chiefs.
Pickoff attempt, and just back in safely is Lucas Burgum. He started to move to his right, which was going to be a steal attempt, but he was back in safely. Elliott Life is making his way down along with Jack Van Camp. Runner is off of the pitch. It's taken for a strike. The throw, and it's going to be in time, and they're going to gun the runner down at second in Lucas Burgum. And there's now, will end the inning as 2 more runs score on 3 hits in the inning. no errors, and nobody left on base. We have played 4 complete. It is a 7-1 lead here for the Mandan Chiefs. Back in a minute, you're listening to Post-8 Baseball. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Top of the 5th inning, Post-8 down by 6. A lot of work in front of them as Isaac Huddle has helped himself out with 3 hits in the ball game. He's on the mound. He's gotten 3 hits with 2 runs driven in. As it'll be 9-1-2. Colin Brueggemann, followed by Andrew Coverdale and Garrett Stout. As Brueggemann 0 for 1, Coverdale 0 for 2, and Stout 0 for 2. 6 hits in the ball game though for Post-8. They trail 7-1. First pitch is upstairs to Colin Brueggemann. Justin Houlette has gone 3 innings, although there's some activity in the bullpen for Post-8. Aaron Booth started the ball game in the bottom of the first, gave up 1 run, and then left after with some elbow problems as he had his elbow wrapped up and with some ice. And hopefully it's just a little bit of an injury that will not keep him out for very long. As the 1-1 pitch coming in to Brueggemann. Fouled into the catcher's mitt. Now 1-2 to the number 9 hitter Brueggemann. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Brueggemann went 2 for 3 on Wednesday against Mandan. As the 1-2, a check swing did not go. Now 2-2. Brueggemann almost started to make that motion back to the dugout, which would have been one that you don't like to see it, or don't like to see it if you're the hitting team. The 2-2 pitch. That one's on the outside corner and looked out for strike 3, and Brueggemann goes down on strikes for the second time. And there's 1 away here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, and we'll see if now that Coverdale's coming to the plate for the 3rd time today, we'll see if the Eights can maybe see if they can start putting a little damage on Huddle. He's done a nice job pitching for Mandan so far.
First pitch to Coverdale, who's 0 for 2. Will bounce in. It's taken for ball 1. The Coverdale has flown out to the center fielder twice in Blake Ahrens. The 1-0 pitch at the letters, now 1-1.
Huddle's done a nice job. He's been real efficient so far. He's just right around the 50 pitch mark through 4 1/3 innings so far. So if he's able to keep this up, you're probably going to see a complete game out of him today.
2-1 is the count, and has many pitchers as Mandan used yesterday. That is what exactly he might have to finish it out. He might have to get to that pitch count, and whether it continues to be as good as he has been, or if he starts to struggle, they might have him just throw until he gets to that 105 pitch count.
Yeah, and I don't know how many pitchers did they use in that East Grand Forks game. Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it was 4 at the least. Okay. 5, I believe, 4 or 5, and they all threw a lot of pitches. 2-2 pitch. Coverdale rips it up to the middle to center field, and it'll drop in for a 1-out single. And there's his first hit of the ball game. Now bringing Garrett Stout, trying to get this top of the order to bring some runs around the score. Post-8, the 4th inning, straight to the bases loaded with 1 out. That's a missed opportunity that they could have, even though those 2 runs scored for Mandan, could have kept this game a little bit more in reach. It's not out of reach. It's only a 6-run lead. But with only 8 outs left for Mandan to get, they're running out of time trying to score those 6 runs at least to tie the ball game up. Stout, who's 0 for 2. Well, wait on the first pitch, and that one misses him. So I don't know how it missed him. Coverdale was able to take second, and it's ball 1 to Stout.
Yeah, he had to dance, hop, skip, try to get out of the way of that ball. I mean, Huddle reared back and really let one fly, and it came into the left-hand batter's box about 58 feet, going about 85 miles an hour.
So it's 1-0 to Stout. He's got a chance here to move Coverdale over. I'd like to see a base hit and not use a productive out. As that one will skip away from the catcher. Coverdale's going to round third, and he's going to not try for home. And the ball did get out of play, rolled out of play, so Coverdale had to stay over at third base. But there is now a 2-0 count, and he is at third, and with a base hit, Stout would bring him in and start the comeback here. Could potentially start a comeback here for Post 8.
Yeah, and again, while the Eights have 7 hits, they just have not been able to get that big hit when it counts.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Stout over to left field, down the line. It's going to land fair, and Coverdale's going to come around to score. He'll round first, does Stout. He goes diving head first into second, and he has himself a one-out RBI double. And it's now a 7-2 lead here for Mandan, and that's a good piece of hitting to go the other way for Garrett Stout.
Yeah, I'm sure Mandan still has nightmares about Garrett Stout from Wednesday night when he hit 2 home runs in that second game of the doubleheader, and so probably not somebody they want to see up in a key situation. And again, he delivers an RBI double for the Eights, and he's got a little life here in the top of the 5th.
First pitch to Andy Gordon's over for strike one. Gordon is 1 for 2. He singled and came around to score in the first inning. He ground out to the shortstop Burgum in the top of the 4th. He hits with 1 out and 1 on here in the top of the 5th inning. 7-2. Post State trails by 5. The 0-1 swing and a miss gets in the turf. Stout will take third. The throw is going to get into the left field, and Stout's going to come around to score. So as the throw's coming in, and Stout started to jog his way home, and he had to pick up the speed just a little bit, but it's now 7-3, and the bases are empty. That's a big second run there in the inning for Post State, and the arrow will be charged to the catcher in Klein Connect.
Yeah, and again, if you can get within 4, you're within 1 swing of the bat, and so that's a key run for the Eights,
and especially for this Post State team who has had 3 grand slams in the last week. 0-2 is flown out to right field, and waiting on it is the right fielder Jablonski will make the catch, and there's 2 down here in the top of the 5th. And here's A.J. Gaden, who's 2 for 2 with a double and a single. If you'd have had that triple, we might have been putting him on the cycle watch, but he's got the first 2 legs of the cycle. But the 2 hardest ones in the home run and triple are the ones he's got to try and get. First pitch to Gaden is miss low for ball 1.
And we've seen a triple already today from out of Mandan, so we know that if on this turf, if you get something with some topspin on it, it's going to roll a long way and really give you an opportunity to leg out a 3-bagger.
Count is now 2-0 here to Gaden. He doubled home Gordon in the first. He was left stranded at third in the top of the 4th inning after he singled. The 2-0 pitch. That one's lined out to center field. That one's going to get down for a base hit, and it's not going to get through the outfielders. So that, although as hard as he hit that ball, if that would have shot the gap, he would have had a chance at a triple. But he'll take a 3-for-3 day either way with those now 2 singles and a double. And here's Cade Hinkle, who is 1 for 2.
Yeah, and Gaden continues to hit the ball well. And again, I fully expect you're going to see Coach White probably pencil his name into the lineup on a daily basis the way he's hitting going forward.
Gaden's all with the first pitch. He gets in the turf, and Gaden will get there standing up. So now he is in scoring position, and Cade Hinkle with a base hit could pull Post State within 3.
And again, nice to see the Eights break through here in the top of the 5th. Huddle's pitch count is now up nearing 70.
There's a ground ball to the right side, fielded by the second baseman Schmidt on the back end. The throw to first will end the top of the 5th inning, but not before 2-run score here for Post State on 3 hits in the inning. No error, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. We've played 4.5. Post State's, they trail 7-3. A couple big zeros here for Post State. The next 2 innings could allow them to have a chance to come back in this ball game as they trail Mandan at 7-3. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the 5th inning for Mandan. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. Avery Bogner, Ben Kleinknecht, and Tate Jablonski. And then if anybody gets on, it'll be Jacob Wine, who is 0 for 2 so far. 7 runs on 8 hits and 1 error for Mandan. 3 runs, 9 hits, and 3 errors for Post State. They trail by 4 as we play here in the bottom of the 4th. Justin Houlette, his 4th inning from the mound after taking over for Aaron Booth. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Bogner is 1 for 1. He walked and then singled. He singled homer on the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Bogner. That one is over for strike 1.
Yeah, and again, a key inning here for the Eights. Started to show a little bit of offensive life here in the top of the 5th. If Justin Houlette can give them a quick inning defensively and get them back into the dugout and continue the offensive show they started to put together, maybe they can dig themselves out of a hole and put a little comeback together.
First, the one pitch is flown out to right field, and Gabe will make the catch to retire the leadoff man. Here is Ben Kleinknecht, as they do have action in the bullpen for the Mandan Chiefs. A right-hander is getting loose out in left field. The first pitch is out, taken for strike 1 to Kleinknecht, who is 0 for 2 so far. That's out of play, unlike Hyde Stadium, where those mounds are in foul territory. This is over and out of play. Now 0-2 the count here for to Kleinknecht.
Yeah, the bullpens are over behind some fencing, just outside of the fence, outside of the field of play, down both the third base and first base lines toward the outfield fence.
Count is now 1-2 to Kleinknecht, who will from the windup will deliver the 1-2 pitch, and then will come in and hit the catcher, and he's on base for the second time. And that's an 0-2 count, turn to 1-2, and tough one for Houlette to allow that base runner.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. You get 2 strikes on a hitter, and one of the last things you want to do is not only allow a walk, but the thing that's really tough is when you get him down 1-2 or 0-2, and then you throw a ball that, in that case, it was a curveball that just got away and didn't break back over the plate and hit the batter right in the shoulder blade.
Pickoff attempt and diving back in safely. Boy. Justin Houlette's been close a couple times of picking two different guys off first base. But back in safely was Kleinknecht. I believe maybe he's got a courtesy runner out there. The first pitch, though, to Jablonski, instead another check over, and back in safely, much easier this time over at first base. And, of course, the man warming up in left field bullpen can't see the number. Wouldn't be able to see the number anyway. My eyes are nowhere near that good to try and see that. First pitch is over for strike 1. We'll see if Huddle will go out to work the 6th inning, or if that man out in the bullpen will be the first man to come into the ball game to relieve Huddle. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, now 0-2 to Jablonski. He is 0 for 1. He walked and also was a strikeout victim to Houlette in his 2 plate appearances. From the stretch, again, another pickoff attempt, and that one diving back in safely. That one, the throw was a little high to Dean. That wasn't really high. It was just right at the chest. If that was low to the base, might have been able to pick him off, because the runner at first was very late to react. The 0-2 is just outside. Not a bad 0-2 pitch, as Jablonski almost chased after it. Now 1-2.
Yeah, 1-2 count. This is a count you see a lot of times that the runner may take off on.
And he does leave on that pitch. That one's flown out to right field. A.J. Gaden will wait on it. The runner will retreat back to first. The throw is going to come in to first base, but back in safely is the runner at first base, and there's now 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, I don't know if that was an actual hit and run play or just Jablonski trying to fight off a 2-strike pitch, but either way, the out is recorded. The Eights are basically just 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning unscathed.
Here's Jacob Wine, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts to his credit. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Houlette has struck him out both times as well. 3 strikeouts in the ball game for Justin Houlette here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pickoff attempt and back in safely again.
probably got to believe that Mandan's going to try to get this runner over in scoring position for Wyan at some point in this at bat. Probably earlier in the at bat than later.
The 1-0 is fouled. Almost hits a cameraman over down the first base line. Didn't have to move too much, but just had to make sure just a little bit of a lean to his left to make sure he didn't get hit by that foul ball. Count is 1-1. And the 1-1 out towards right field. That's going to get foul and end up getting out of play, and it's now 1-2. And here I am every time. Obviously, this is not a time where we're not going to catch a foul ball. If we get a foul ball back here, the netting's going to break on us. But I'm always looking for a foul ball to come this way, and I never get one. Then you get a chance for the cameraman down there. He's ducking out of the way. He's moving out of the way. Don't really blame him. It was a hard hit ball. 1-2 pitch. Grounded down the first base line, and Dean was on the first base bag as he fielded it, and that will retire the side. And easy play there for Dean. Didn't have to move very far. No runs on no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We head to the top of the sixth inning. Post State trailing 7-3 Mandan. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Minot in the Corbett Field, top of the sixth inning. And it will be River Iverson to lead things off, followed by Matt Lusk and Bennett Dean, 6, 7, and 8 here for the 8s as they trail by 4. As Isaac Cuddle's still out on the mound. I believe it is for Mandan. Yep, he is working into his sixth inning of here in the top of the sixth, but for Mandan, the man who was out in the bullpen, not sure if he was a fielder that is out now or back in the dugout. First pitch to Iverson down the third base line, but foul. And it's 0-1. Matt Lusk is on deck, followed by Bennett Dean here in the top of the sixth. They did score 2 runs in the top of the fifth inning, did Post State. But they trail 7-3.
Iverson coming into the game hitting .350, 14 hits and 40 at bats to go along with a .855 OPS. So a good year for River Iverson so far.
1 is outside, 1-1. I would say over half of his hits have been in the infield. Yep. And a lot of them by design with those bunt base hits. A couple of others that he just hits on the ground. One obviously was a walk-off single against Post 22. 1-1 does not check his swing, and it's now a 1-2. And for Iverson, he'll take that batting average. He'll take all those infield hits. Take them any way you can get them. 1-2 pitch. Iverson pops it up to left field. The left fielder, Andreessen, will glide in, make the catch, and the leadoff man for the 6th straight inning has been retired for Post State.
And that's what Mandan's done well today, is they have not allowed that leadoff man to get on base, because anytime that leadoff guy gets on, you just have a much better chance at putting pressure on the defense, pressure on the pitching staff, and having an ability to string some hits together.
Matt Lusk, he is 0 for 2. He pops the first pitch out of play as Huddle in his 6th inning, giving up 9 hits to Pierre and 3 runs. The 0-1 is out towards center and gliding into left center field and making the catch is Aarons. And there's 2 quickly gone. And that'll bring in Bennett Dean, who is looking for his first base hit here of the day and of also for the tournament, as he's only his first 2 at-bats in this game have been his only 2 at-bats so far of the Minot tournament. He has grounded out to the first baseman and flew out to left field. And he'll fly that out towards right field, and it's going to get into foul territory, and it's going to get out of play. And it's 0-1. Dean has a home run so far this season. It was a 3-run homer last week Sunday against Aberdeen. Had a pretty good start to that Aberdeen game. Went 2 for 2 with 5 runs driven in the first 2 innings. That's a good weekend sometimes to have. And he had in his first 2 at-bats in game 2 on Sunday.
Yeah, there's a lot of baseball players will take five RBIs in a week, let alone in just 2 at bats.
Right, yeah, and this count is now 1-1 to Bennett Dean, who threw a complete game yesterday. The 1-1 pitch is on the outside corner now, 1-2. Threw a complete game, 3-1 win against East Grand Forks to open up the tournament. Now Post State is starting to get in danger of dropping their next 2 games. To fall to 1-2. The 1-2 is in the dirt. Now 2-2. Just 4 outs left to work with. They trail by 4. Although they did trail 3-1 going in the bottom of the 7th on Wednesday. And came away with a 7-3 win with a walk-off grand slam. 2-2 is grounded, foul down the first base line.
Yeah, and again, you're getting to the point in the game where you just really need to start putting some at bats together, and you need to maybe get a little bit of luck, but you just got to get some good swings on the ball. And Huddle has really done a nice job in terms of pitching around danger and got a little help from his defense.
2-2 is upstairs now. 3-2. Will Van Camp is on deck as he will hit for Colin Bergman in the number 9 spot if Dean is able to get aboard. 2 down here in the top of the 6th inning. The payoff pitch from Huddle to Dean. Well outside, and it's a 2-out walk, and Dean is on for the first time, and it extends the inning to Will Van Camp, who got the RBI, the tying RBI base hit on Wednesday, which allowed then Garrett Stout to come up with 2 outs and the bases loaded to win the ball game with a grand slam. Yeah,
and Will Van Camp, let me quick grab his numbers on the year. He is hitting, as I pull up my game changer, hitting 167. But again, those 4 RBIs, 3 of them coming last Sunday, and a 3 RBI double up in Aberdeen.
And of course, like I said, that game tying RBI. So he's no stranger to batting with runners in scoring position and being able to drive in runners. Obviously, Bennett Dean right now not in scoring position. The 1-0 pitch as Van Camp will float it in the shallow center field, and the shortstop in Burgum turned all the way around to make the catch and end the top of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. Post State trailing 7-3. Justin Huletz, maybe River Iverson might be going to the mound here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Trying to keep it a 7-3 Mandan lead. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. Gray Zabel is on to catch as River Iverson is now pitching. Will Van Camp will be out in left field as he stays in the ball game. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean as we play in the bottom of the 6th inning. That throw down looks very odd from Gray Zabel because he throws left-handed. You don't see too many left-handed throwing catchers, obviously really at all. There is no left-handed throwing catcher in Major League Baseball. And Gray Zabel will be now in behind the plate And I would assume that he's got a little bit different gear than what Cade Hinkle has, because that would be a very small compared to what Cade Hinkle wears.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, like you said, the left-handed throwing Gray Zabel down there. We'll close the book on Justin Houlette for the day as he throws 69 pitches over 4 innings, gave up 7 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts on the day for Houlette.
Blake Aaron's the leadoff man here in the bottom of the 6th. Also leadoff man in the order. It takes the 0-1 pitch outside to even the count at 1. It is Aaron's, Andreessen, and Huddle as the 1-1 is fouled back. And it's now 1-2.
First appearance on the mound this year for River Iverson. So, again, we're into the 20th game of the year already for Pierre Post 8. And first opportunity for River Iverson to show off that right arm.
And he swings and misses, does Aaron's on the 1-2 pitch. And it goes for strikeout number 1 for River Iverson. And Gray Zabel airmails the throw to third base to Andy Gordon, and Zabel's reaction to it just, oh, come on.
Kind of the Michael Jordan shrug.
Right. So the first man is retired. Here's Easton Andreessen, who is 1 for 2. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. The Michael Jordan shrug.
No.
Iverson is on the far right side of that first base side of the rubber as the 1-0 is swinging a miss, and it's now even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, if you look at what's left in the Pierre bullpen, even though we've talked about their depth, we had talked before the game that the expectation was that Justin Houlette was probably going to start game 2, but I kind of wonder now if maybe Elliott Life doesn't get the ball at some point in game 2 today.
I think Elliott Life and Lincoln Keenels would be the 2 pitchers of game number 2. There's a ground ball to the right side. Coverdale will field, and Iverson's got the first 2 men he's seen down in order, and that will bring up Isaac Huddle, who's working on a 3-for-3 day and also could be potentially looking for a complete game against Post State. He will have to deal with the top of the order of Andrew Coverdale, Garrett Stout, and Andy Gordon in the top of the 7th. And that's one that you like to see the start of that 7th inning be right there for Post State. Would have to score at least 4 runs, if not, hopefully not more, as Iverson's looking to get a 0 put on the scoreboard in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch to Huddle misses low for ball 1. 3 for 3, 2 singles and a triple, 2 runs driven in. And there's a ground ball to the right side. He's going to be retired for the first time in the ball game, as it's a 1-2-3 inning for River Iverson. Post State needs 4 runs at least here in the top of the 7th to keep the ball game alive as we head to the top of the 7th. They trail Mandan 7-3. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Top of the 7th inning, it is going to be Lucas Burgum to come on the mound to try and close it out. As let's try and get through some of these defensive positioning changes. They had just 9 guys in the order, so the DH was not there to begin with. Wait to see who is actually behind the plate here. Is the catcher in was it Klein Connect, but he should have been ready if he was the man that was still catching. I believe Isaac Huddle is now going to be the new catcher. And wait to see who that number, the guy is out at short. Maybe Klein Connect moved out to shortstop for Mandan. But either way, top of the 7th inning, Andrew Coverdale, Garrett Stout, and Andy Gordon will lead things off. The first 3 hitters of the inning, first 3 hitters of the order for Post State, needing 4 runs.
Yeah, and so it's really imperative for Post State. I mean, Andrew Coverdale's at bat is going to be a big at bat for them. I mean, if he can reach base and again, if you can start putting a little pressure on, especially a new pitcher, and we've seen Burgum make some really good defensive plays out at shortstop today, and so we know he's got a good arm. Probably who Mandan looks to come in and close games, but this is going to be a big at bat. This first at bat of the 7th inning with Post State down by 4 in their final at bat.
Huddle is catching. Schmidt is over at short, and Clyde Connect is the second baseman, as it is Burgum now the man on the mound with the top of the 7th inning, as Huddle went 6 innings, giving up those 3 runs, and one of those being unearned. First pitch, Coverdale out towards right field, and it's going to be a 1 pitch and 1 out as he flies out for the 3rd time. He goes 1 for 4. As Garrett Stout will step to the plate.
Yeah, we'll close the book on Huddle for the day. 6 innings pitched, give up 9 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 82 pitches on the day over 6 innings for Huddle.
First pitch to Garrett Stout is outside for ball 1. So if Post State does not get the win here, they're going to have a game break no matter what, but they have to come back and beat Minot in the 2nd game to have an opportunity to play in the championship on Sunday. If they do not win this one and also lose to Minot, they will be at 1-3 and no chance for them to play on Sunday. It'll take a little bit of help as well because Mandan would be at 2-1. The 1-1 is on the outside corner now, 1-2. But if Mandan then would beat Bismarck in the next game, which that's coming up, then Post State would be eliminated from the tournament. 1-2 pitch outside now, 2-2.
Yeah, the game schedule for the rest of today up here at the Minot tournament. Bismarck plays Mandan immediately after this game. Then, like we said, Pierre plays Minot at 2:30.
As the ground ball to the first baseman, and Stout will ground out to the first baseman 3 times in this ball game. He is now 1 for 4 as well. And that brings up Andy Gordon, and it's going to take a long 2-out rally here for Pierre to tie this ball game up, needing 4 runs without recording an extra out.
Bismarck and East Grand Forks play at 4:45, and then the final game of today is East Grand Forks and Minot, scheduled for approximately 7 o'clock tonight.
So it'll be interesting how that plays out. If Pierre does win against Minot, obviously Bismarck would have to beat Mandan next. If Bismarck then beats East Grand Forks, then it turns into where we'll see what exactly happens. As that one actually hits Andy Gordon in the head, and it might have even missed the helmet of Andy Gordon as he is down in the right-hander's batter's box.
Both Coach Brian White coming right down from the third base dugout, as well as the on-site trainer is, and Andy got hit and he folded immediately. And I'm with you. I think it might have hit his shoulder first and then popped up and maybe hit him in the neck. As he slowly gets to his feet, which is a good sign, but just a tough day all around for Andy Gordon. And I think he's gonna probably go take a seat on the bench, which is probably a good situation for him. We'll get a pinch runner in for him. Elliot Life will come in and pitch run, but just a tough day for Andy Gordon here on this Saturday morning.
As the trainer will go over to the dugout on the first base side, and I believe maybe she's gonna make her way back across the field. Thought maybe check Gordon to make sure that he was okay, give him a little bit of maybe concussion test. Not that as quick as he got back up, it seems like everything will be okay, but he's already laughing over there on the dugout. So very good sign. They could have been a lot worse for Andy Gordon. Here's A.J. Gaden, who is working on a 3-for-3 day. Post State has some life with Elliot Life running at first base. No pun intended. The 0-1 pitch to Gaden. That one's chopped to the third base side. The pitcher does not barehand it cleanly, and it's now first and second. I believe that's going to be an infield single, and it will be for Gaden, who is now 4 for 4 in the ball game. He is 7 for 11 here in the tournament. That's a pretty good mark here for A.J. Gaden through 3 games of this Minot tournament.
And again, now the Eights have a little bit of a rally with Gray Zabel coming to the plate here with 2 outs and runners on first and second. Now the tying run gets to the on deck circle, and so really what all you're looking for is just an opportunity to put yourself in a good position, and that's exactly what the Eights are doing here in the 7th inning. And if you're Mandan, you've kind of seen this song and dance already one time this week out of post 8.
I think that's why the coach came out to talk with the pitcher in Bergam. Just calm down. We need 1 out here. We still got a good cushion to work with, up by 4. But yeah, Mandan had a 3-1 lead going in the bottom of the 7th and end up losing 7-3. They lead 7-3 right now, but they have to try and find a way to get at least 1 more out. Now 2-0 to Gray Zabel. On deck is River Iverson. And again, post 8 is no stranger to grand slams either. So if it's a walk, obviously it's going to take a lot to get out 316 down the left and right field line. But, 3 grand slams already this season. That's a line shot to center field. That one's going to get over the head of the center fielder, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Gray Zabel, he's going to round second. 2 runs are going to score. Zabel's on his way to third, and it's going to be a 2-out, 2 RBI triple for for Gray Zabel, and the tying run will be at the plate. And River Iverson, as is now 7-5.
Yeah, and again, just give the Eights a lot of credit. I mean, never say die. They didn't the other night when they were down 3-1 going into the bottom of the 7th, and now even though they were down 4 coming to the top of the 7th here in Minot, put together a couple of good at bats with 2 outs, and now the tying run sits at the plate in River Iverson.
First pitch to Iverson misses upstairs for ball 1. Iverson, he is 2 for 3. He singled twice on the infield. He had a bunt base hit last time. The 1-0 pitch is taken for strike 1. He also flown out to left field. A home run would tie it. On deck is Matt Lusk. Either way, you got to find a way to get Matt Lusk to the plate. There's a ground ball that's foul. Now post 8 down there, final out. Down 7-5 here against the Mandan Chiefs. This is their 3rd game of the tournament. In danger of falling to 1-2 after opening up the tournament with a win over East Grand Forks. The 1-2 pitch. Iverson's able to fight it off and stay alive. And still 1-2.
Yeah, good curveball from Bergam there on 1-2, and good piece of hitting by Iverson just to fight that off and stay alive.
Iverson will wait on the 1-2 pitch from Bergam. He'll foul it back to the screen, stays alive again. And trying to find a way to get on base. Bergam trying to find that last out. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Iverson, good check swing, is now 2-2 as the pitch goes in the turf. Bounces in. 2-2 is the count with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. 7-5. Post 8 trailing by 2. Tying run is at the plate. Find a way to get him on base. Bring up Matt Lusk. Here's the 2-2 one more time. There's a line shot into center field. Coming in on as the center fielder. Dives, can't make the catch. And it's now 7-6. And River Iverson, the tying run, is on base.
And the Eights continue to have some life. Again, a ball that just fell out of the reach of the center fielder, and just like Gray Zabel's ball, just ahead of that. Again, a ball that was just out of the center fielder Aaron's reach. He's now just missed a couple of them, and so maybe there's a little fate brewing for the Eights.
First pitch is outside for ball 1. If that ball gets to the backstop, Iverson will take second. And he would be in scoring position for a base hit from Matt Lusk to try and tie this game up. He's 0 for 3 as Matt Lusk. Bergam from the stretch. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that one's at the letters, now 1-1. Lusk is grounded out to the shortstop. He struck out, and he also flew out to the center fielder. 1-1's the count. The 1-1 pitch. Lusk right back up the middle, fielded by the second baseman. The 2-out rally will come just short of a comeback, as Lusk will ground into the fielder's choice to end the ball game. So post 8 is now 1-2 on the weekend. They will play play Minot at 2:30, as we will step aside for 2 minutes, and we will come back with the post game of game number 1 here for the day. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Minot in the post-game show of game number 1, Post State drops 7-6 final score to the Mandan Chiefs as they are now 1-2 on the tournament and will have to beat Minot to have an opportunity to play on Sunday. If they do not beat Minot, their tournament will come to an end after the 2:30 game here this afternoon. We're going to stay on schedule because the next game is going to be scheduled to play at 12:15, and we got done in an hour and 38 minutes. So we sit at 11:40 right now. So that second game will get started on time, which will hopefully help us to get started on time as well, as it'll be Bismarck and Mandan here playing in just about, what that be, about half an hour from now. Post State, they left 7 guys on base. They had 6 runs on 12 hits. They had 3 errors in the ball game, and there's where you can kind of draw the difference in win or loss is 3 errors on the scoreboard compared to Mandan's just 1. And Post State falls by just 1 run, 7-6. So that those, if you take 2 of those 3 errors off the board, Post State might have a chance to win it in the bottom of the 7th.
Absolutely, and give Post State credit. I mean, they dug themselves into a little bit of a hole, being down 7-1 going into the top of the 5th, but they rallied a little bit, got a couple in the top of the 5th, and then actually got the tying run on base in the 7th, and the winning run to the plate. And so this is a team that certainly is able to put together enough quality at bats that I don't think they're ever out of a ball game. It's just a matter of can you get that big hit at the right time, and unfortunately for the Eights today, that wasn't going to happen.
Mandan is now 2-1 here in the tournament as they will play Bismarck. And so for Post State to play tomorrow, they will need Bismarck to beat Mandan and then have to beat Minot, and then East Grand Forks will have to go 1-2 or 1-1 today against either Bismarck or Minot. So we'll have to beat one of them and lose to the other one. So we have to have 3 teams be at 2-2 for Post State to have a chance to play on Sunday. But if East Grand Forks goes 1-3 and Minot goes 1-3 and Post State and Mandan are both at 2-2, that means Mandan will go on the head-to-head, and Bismarck obviously would be in the championship game as well. So it's going to take I hope you got all that, because there's a little bit of some confusion of how that happens. But basically, East Grand Forks right now has to go 2-2 today at the end of the day, and Pierre's got to beat Minot, and that's how they have a chance to make the championship on Sunday.
Yeah, and the bottom line for the Eights is what they need to do is just the first order of business is just they got to go out and beat Minot here at 2:30 this afternoon, and then you just got to get some help. Because then if you can get some help, then it ends up falling into some kind of a tiebreaker scenario. And so not only do you have to take care of business with a win over Minot, but then you got to get some things to fall your way, and hopefully for the Eights it will. I mean, and so we'll see. Again, we're looking at a situation for the Eights whereas as you and I between innings off air, we were kind of going down through the available pitchers, and even though this pitching staff is fairly deep, because of who they have already thrown this week and because of the games coming up next week, the number of pitchers that are really going to be available for the Eights today, and then if they're fortunate enough to play again tomorrow, getting down to somewhat of a limited number. So we'll just see what Coach White has if he can pull some magic out of his pitching staff up here in Minot, known as the Magic City. Maybe that'll work for the Eights today.
Yep, needs some. We'll see if they get the help that they need. Bismarck has to beat Mandan here in this ball game, and then obviously when we get back on air, we'll let you know how this game went, as we'll be back on the air right around 2:15. If this game stays on schedule, it doesn't go too long, we can get back on air around 2:15 for that 2:30 start time here later this afternoon. Post State falls 7-6 here in game number 1. They're now 1-2 in the tournament, as we will send things back to the station for Deidre Scott back at the station. Greg Dean to my left, or my right. I'm John Winkler, as Post State falls 7-6 here in game number 1. Back on the air around 2:15 as we say so long for now from Corbett Field.